He felt a little pressure in his chest and brushed it off like it was nothing. 2 hours later, he was gone. That's not a rare story. It's not something that happens once in a while. It happens every single day to guys who thought they had more time. This story is about what really goes down in those final 2 hours. Not the drama you see on TV, not the slow warning signs people expect, but the real timeline of how fast things can fall apart when a heart attack hits and gets ignored. It starts like any normal day. A guy in his 40s, maybe early 50s. Busy, working, dealing with life. He's not thinking about his heart. Most guys don't. He wakes up, grabs his coffee, maybe skips breakfast, maybe grabs something quick on the go. Nothing unusual. Somewhere in the middle of his day, he feels something off. Not sharp pain. Not the kind that drops you to the ground. It's more like pressure. A tight feeling in the center of his chest, like something is sitting there, heavy, uncomfortable. He pauses for a second, takes a breath, tells himself it's probably nothing. Maybe gas, maybe stress, maybe something he ate. That's the first moment where everything could have changed. But he shrugs it off, keeps going. Because that's what most guys do, they push through. They don't want to make a big deal out of something small. Minutes pass. The feeling doesn't go away, it lingers. Maybe it eases a little, maybe it comes back stronger. It's not consistent, and that makes it easier to ignore. He checks his phone, keeps working, keeps moving. But inside, something serious is already happening. One of the arteries supplying blood to his heart has started to block. It doesn't happen out of nowhere. It's been building for years. Cholesterol deposits, plaque forming silently, narrowing the vessel little by little. And then, at one moment, that plaque ruptures. The body reacts instantly. It treats it like an injury and forms a clot. That clot grows quickly and blocks the artery. Blood flow to a part of the heart muscle stops. Now the clock is ticking. The heart muscle needs oxygen constantly. Without it, the cells start to suffer. Within minutes, damage begins. Not hours. Minutes. Back to the guy. The pressure in his chest is now stronger. It's not just uncomfortable anymore. It's bothering him. He shifts in his chair, maybe loosens his shirt. Takes a deep breath. Still there. He thinks about it for a second. Maybe I should get this checked. But then another thought comes in. It's probably nothing. I'll wait it out. That decision right there is where things start slipping out of control. Now the pain starts to move. It spreads from the chest toward his left arm, maybe into his shoulder, maybe up toward his jaw. It's not always the same for everyone, but when it spreads, that's a serious sign. He starts sweating. Not because it's hot, but that cold, uneasy sweat that doesn't make sense. His body is reacting to stress, to lack of oxygen, to something going wrong inside. Breathing feels a little heavier now. Not full panic, but not normal either. At this point, his body is sending clear signals. This is not gas. This is not stress. This is something real. But denial is strong. He sits down, maybe drinks water, maybe takes an antacid. Tells himself it'll pass. Meanwhile, inside his chest, the blocked artery is starving part of his heart. Cells are dying. The longer the blockage stays, the more damage spreads. There's something in medicine called the golden hour. The first 60 to 90 minutes after a heart attack begins. That's the window where fast treatment can save heart muscle and save a life. He's already deep into that window and he's still waiting. Time keeps moving. The pain gets worse. Now it's hard to ignore. It's not just discomfort anymore. It's heavy, crushing. Like something is pressing down hard on his chest. He starts to feel weak, dizzy. Something feels seriously wrong now. This is the moment where most guys realize they made a mistake. He reaches for his phone. Maybe thinks about calling someone. Maybe thinks about going to the hospital. But even now there's hesitation. He doesn't want to overreact. Doesn't want to cause a scene. Doesn't want to believe it's as serious as it feels. And that delay costs time he doesn't have. Inside, the heart rhythm starts to become unstable. The damaged muscle is not conducting electrical signals properly. The heart is not just a pump, it's an electrical system too. When that system gets disrupted, things can go downhill fast. Suddenly, his heart goes into a dangerous rhythm. Something like ventricular fibrillation. Instead of pumping blood effectively, the heart starts quivering. Blood flow to the brain drops immediately. He feels it. A sudden wave, lightheaded, weak, disoriented. And then it happens. He collapses. No warning now. No gradual decline. Just sudden loss of consciousness. If someone is nearby and acts immediately, there's a chance. CPR, emergency response, defibrillation. These can bring a person back if done fast. But if he's alone or if help is delayed, those chances drop quickly. Every minute without circulation increases the risk of permanent brain damage and death. Now the clock is even more brutal. A few minutes pass. Someone finds him. Panic sets in. Emergency services are called. CPR starts. Chest compressions. Trying to keep blood flowing to the brain and vital organs. Paramedics arrive. They hook up monitors. Try to shock the heart back into a normal rhythm. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. In his case, it doesn't. By the time he reaches the hospital, too much time has passed. The heart muscle has suffered severe damage. The rhythm cannot be stabilized. And just like that, within 2 hours of that first small symptom, he's gone. Not because help doesn't exist. Not because treatment isn't available. But because the warning signs were ignored. This is the part that hits hard. Most heart attacks don't start with dramatic collapse. They start quietly. Subtle symptoms that feel easy to dismiss. Pressure, tightness, discomfort. Not always sharp pain. Not always severe at the beginning. And that's what makes them dangerous. The body gives signals. Clear ones, but they don't always match what people expect. So they get ignored. Risk factors play a role too. Smoking, high blood pressure, diabetes, stress, poor diet. These things build up over time. They don't cause symptoms every day, but they create the conditions for something like this to happen. That guy didn't wake up thinking this would be his last day. Most people don't. That's why awareness matters. Chest pain lasting more than a few minutes, especially if it feels like pressure or tightness, should never be ignored. Pain spreading to the arm, jaw, or back. Shortness of breath, sweating without reason, nausea. These are not small signs. They are warnings, and the response should be immediate. Not later. Not after resting. Not after trying home remedies. Call emergency services, get to a hospital. Time matters more than anything else in that moment. Because the difference between acting in the first 30 minutes and waiting 2 hours can be the difference between walking out of the hospital and never making it there alive. That's the reality. This story is not meant to scare. It's meant to make things clear. The heart doesn't give endless chances. When something goes wrong, it moves fast. And the only way to beat it is to act faster. So if there's one thing to take from this, it's simple. Don't ignore chest pain. Don't wait it out. Don't try to be tough about it. Because what feels small in the moment can turn into something irreversible before you even realize what's happening. If you want more real stories and insights that show what's really happening behind the scenes of life, health, stick with Dr. A Clinic and hit that subscribe button. Because sometimes the stories that matter most are the ones people don't see coming. And we're here to bring them to light. Thanks for watching.